Hello, everybody. So I'm sorry about the delay here. We're starting a couple minutes late, but we're pretty now. Thanks to Joseph for
Hi.
our new layout, and it's not his fault. He gave me everything I needed last night, and I decided to render out this pretty stuff. You can actually see we've got a fancy new transition. Some nice cube transitions there. A
Mhm.
new shiny Sandbox logo. So I'm happy to have that already. But my GPU crashed this morning when it was supposed to render that overnight, and so I spent the last 40 minutes re-rendering that hastily. It'll look even shinier on Wednesday. So I think it was worth it. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sandbox stream. I am Alex, aka Kamisazi, and we are here with our producer Joseph, the Vision X.
Hello.
So we are gonna do some sand giveaways. I see we've already got almost 30 people watching, so we're gonna start that first giveaway, and you only have a couple minutes to hop in on that. We changed the text, so now it is !sand. You got to type that in the chat. And you do have to be on twitch.tv/thesandboxgame. All right, I see the names filling up in there. So while we are getting that giveaway started, let's launch the game maker. We're going to revisit Wizzy and see if we can complete the cat quest that he gives us. We made it functional, but now we got to clean it up a bit. Alrighty. Let's see
Man,
here.
I feel so good about this. I love seeing it live. I'm so sorry. So I'm nerding out over the graphics.
You did a great job with that. It looks so nice. I did watch it like 100 times last night. I was like, oh, it's pretty. I
Yeah,
mean, I kind of
yeah,
had to watch it because I was aligning up all the other stuff while it was running. So
yeah. I spent probably an hour trying to make sure that the color was exactly the same as things are on the website and all these other things. And a funny thing about the when it pops up the letter S and the background that of the top section that's white are the
mhm.
same color in the design. So initially I tried to make it like this dark gray, and then I saw the S was dark gray, and I'm like,
No.
oh, yep. I
Oops.
imported the silhouette, and
Oops.
it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks real great. You might notice everything's nicely lined up on the screen now. We've got our chat flows upwards the way normal chats do, and it kind of disappears at the top here. And we've got our nice scroll. So yeah, stream is much prettier now. We are totally professional. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that giveaway finished up. We got 14 entries. Oh, I see a couple more going in. You got about 10 seconds to type !sand in the Twitch chat before I hit. Yep, I still see those names coming in. Hurry, hurry, hurry. It's only 4 letters and an
Oh,
exclamation point.
man.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Is that everybody? Okay. And the winner is Troll Eat. So the troll's going to eat some sand here. Go ahead and if you go to Twitter, you can direct message at the Vision X, which does that show up on the screen now, or is that not?
I don't have that anywhere yet. I could add it to the text chat at the top, the scrolling text, but I'll put it in the chat since entry is only on Twitch. If you are already on Twitch, you could also DM me directly on Twitch.
There you go.
I'll
Whisper
just
at
type hi
Joseph.
there in the chat, and you can send me a whisper.
There you go. So Troll Eat, go ahead and message Joseph there, and he will get your Ether wallet, and then after the stream, I will send you 100 sand.
All
So I can
right.
hold on to that and let that accumulate in some value over time. So that is our first giveaway. Also, we're doing that 2 more times, so stick around. We'll do it once in the middle, once at the end. And just like on Wednesday, I'll roll a die, and we will pick one of the 3 winners to also get the Sand Fountain NFT, which if my library opens, we'll there we go. One of these shiny things. You will get one of the last 7, I think I have of them. I don't remember the last time I counted it, but you'll get one of these to put in your games, or sell it, trade it, whatever you want to do with it. So we last time we set up our quest. Let's go ahead and play it real quick. So we can't use Jet anymore because he is no longer a free item. He's got better things in store for him, so I can't even actually select him right now. I have to place a new avatar because we don't have an avatar. If there was an avatar on the screen, you would actually see a little blue arrow with a white dot in it. Well, you'll see what that looks like in just a second. So we need to grab a human. And let's see, who are we gonna pick? I think my space hero works with the new animations. No, he does not. He does not. So we're gonna use the Bazaar Merchant, which we've been using. So after I place him, I switch him over to the avatar behavior, and that's the little blue and white icon I was talking about. So even if he's off the screen, that tells you where your avatar is, so you can find him. You can also just click on him, and I believe if you hit F, F will jump you over to whatever asset you click. So if I want to go to those palm trees, I hit F, and it's boink. And that makes it fast to center around what you're working with.
Nice.
So let's, if we get started, it should... You can see Jet in the distance there, but once we get going... Whoa, he's a ghost. What are you doing over here, buddy? We can hit him. I think when we exit, he's going to be gone. Yep. And he's gone. So let's actually, let's save that with him gone. Now I'm wondering, did I forget to save our cat quest from last Saturday? I mean, it wasn't. We figured out how to fix it pretty quickly. So let's see if we updated our rules. Quest 1, pet problem, message to receive cat. The cat is saved. Okay, so I goofed. I forgot to save on Saturday. Whoops.
No.
But it was a pretty small change. We just talked about it for a long time. So if you weren't here on Saturday, then you're here on this Saturday, and we'll get to fix our quest because I'm a goof. So if I remember correctly, we wanted Wizzy to see us and give us a quest. So there's actually 2 Wizzies here because we make one of them deactivate after the quest. So let's see here. This, I believe, is the second one. This is the quest completed one. So he says thank you when the quest is done. So this is the guy who gives us the quest. And let's see here. He does need health because we need him to die basically when the quest is done, and that just kind of poofs him away. There's other ways that we could do this actually. We could like deactivate it and stuff, but it's already set up this way, so that's fine. So he detects that the avatar is present, and we do have an avatar tag on our guy here. So when he sees our guy, he releases a message. Down here. Message when spoken. So when he says the "can you find my cat" message, he'll say quest 1. He won't say quest 1. The message will say quest 1. And I think that's all we needed out of him. All right. So then quest 1 gets sent up here, activates the quest pet problem with the description rescue Izzy's pet. And it's waiting for, we'll say complete 1. Wait input, then end the game. And we don't need it to send a message when it wins. Then we will go to the cat, which is a squirrel. And that's what we're supposed to be fixing right now. Except I'm just redoing everything here. And he's going to send the message cat. When he sees the fire, we need to change the broadcast target. That was the issue we were having last week. So he needs to do it to everyone in range. Otherwise, the quest completes like instantly. And broadcast only on true. This is the fire one. Again, we need to set it to everyone in range. So that way it only triggers when they're close together. So this is like two magnets going towards each other. And we're going to send the message fire, which should go to our last guy here. So he's waiting for that cat message to come from our squirrel. And let's see. Oh, that's the quest complete, actually, is what it should be saying. So complete 1. And this one should also be saying complete, except our text box is glitched there. What's going on with that? There it is. Complete 1. I didn't really need to change that from cat, but it makes more sense when you're looking at the rules to see that. And that should be it, I believe. So actually, we're not. I don't think we're killing. Oh no, we do kill him. So complete 1. So he's actually invisible. So we have him set to be a message broadcaster. So is visible is false. There's different ways that we can have him be invisible. We don't actually need him to be a message broadcaster at all. He could be no behavior, and this should still work. We would just need to set the eyeball here to invisible. And then we can line them up like that. Let's save. Okay. And let's give it a whirl. Let's see if this works. So we need him to give us the quest. It takes him a second to recognize us. We can also set it so he looks at us. There we go. I should probably increase his sensitivity radius there. So can you find my cat? That activated our quest. We pick up the cat. Thank you. And did that complete our quest? I probably misspelled something or forgot to activate something. So let's double check here. So he did recognize that. What message? Can you find my cat? Edit logic. So the complete works there. Complete 1. Message to receive. Wait for input, then end game. Let's see. Why is that not working? Well, now I'm confused. It worked last week. Let's see. Thank you. Message required. Complete 1. Is my brain not working today? What do you think,
What
Joseph?
have
Am I
we got?
missing something?
What do we got? So we waited for the message. The last time we waited for the message for the cat, it was the proximity was too large and everything started and finished instantly,
Yep.
right? And it said thanks. This time, um, we don't have a starter message.
Well,
Why not? You basically had to eat Wizzy last time on the left, I think, is what
oh,
kind of the issue was.
I moved him. He's over here.
Very good,
so,
very good.
so I found him,
Yes.
and then we put him back, and he does say thank you. He did. It just didn't complete the quest.
Did you put him next to the other Wizzy? I think you moved and made transparent the wrong Wizzy. Try moving the squirrel again.
Well,
The
he's supposed to be
invisible.
lined up, so
Very
let
nice.
me just so launches, waits for message, complete one, wait input, then end game. That should be all correct, I think. Yeah, holding animations, correct holding animations would be cool. See, the thing with holding is you can actually offset it to anywhere. So I could tell the squirrel to be closer to me when I'm holding it. So picking things up is a little more complicated than just putting it in a hand, because you can use this action to do different things. And I didn't get the quest yet. I need to get the quest first. So you can use that sort of. It doesn't work terribly well, but you can sort of use that to like make cars. Like you can make a car that you could technically pick up to activate, and then it would look like you're inside the car. I did that once before. So it's like you can do different things. This is more just attaching the player. I could have sworn he said thank you the last time we tried this.
Yes. Yes, he did. And you got the press enter to confirm. I think it's just the
Oh, I
general.
did?
The last time you did. Press enter
Oh,
to
yeah.
confirm completion of the quest.
I mean, today he
Yeah,
said thank you.
today, I think the thank you happened when it went over the ghost on the left, but it may be huh.
Break his house. He's healing his house. Why is that healing? I don't know what's healing that. Oh no, it's regenerating its own health. That's kind of funny. It's got automatic health regeneration.
So there's a question in the chat that asks if you need a high spec PC for playing this game. Alex, what do you think?
Not really. I mean, I wouldn't consider mine high spec. Mine's probably slightly better than average, but for people who play games a lot, mine is on the low end. Mine was considered a mid-tier PC like 3 or 4 years ago. So by now, mine is way out of date. I've got a GTX 1050 Ti and an AMD FX 6300 CPU. So those are not terribly expensive. I think you can get both of those together for less than $100 now. Don't quote me on that. I don't actually know because I bought all mine together. My whole PC setup cost about $600 3 years ago, and it was a pre-built, so people can build what I have for a lot less right now.
Sure.
I did upgrade my RAM to 16 gigabytes, which is the max my motherboard can handle, because my motherboard is probably the worst component in my computer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would not consider this a high spec PC. If you have anything, if you can play any game that comes out right now at probably low to medium settings, then you can probably play this just fine. And like this is running fine while I'm streaming, so it only starts getting a little wonky if I've got a lot of objects or if I start building bigger lands.
Yeah.
Then I'll get some issues. But again, this is an alpha, so there's a lot of optimizations that are going to happen still.
Right.
Right now,
And
we're in the stage of piling on features and making sure they work, and then it's going to be streamlining everything.
Right, and it's important to note that when you are streaming, you're using twice the effective GPU CPU, right? Like, so when you can see us here last week, we were spawning a bunch of shields on the map in like 16 to 25 different locations. I can't recall exactly. And as those things were spawning in, it started to tax the computer after a while, but it was being, I mean, yeah, you can see here you're
Yeah, I'm not.
using nine gigs of RAM while streaming. The
Yeah,
CPU's not capping out while streaming,
yeah.
right? So it's pretty light
You can
for
tell
what
my
it is.
CPU's my bottleneck here. That's the
Sure.
closest I'm at because I'm averaging around 80-85%. Oop. To
Sure.
95%.
Yeah.
But then my GPU is like barely being touched while it's video encoding. It's
And
using
actually
38%.
that moment when it hit 95%, it's notable that you were actually loading a movie in the bottom left. That little pop-up that said Sandbox game, join us at sandbox.game, and you're watching
Oh,
that.
I didn't even look over at my
Yeah.
monitor.
Yeah,
So that was
yeah.
probably
So
what
on
caused it.
stream, yeah, that's exactly what caused it. So like, in terms of what does this take, you could probably do this with any, if you had a laptop that had an AMD processor in there, the GPU that's in that is probably good enough to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and we'll have a better idea of system specs as things move along. It's like do you need a high-powered computer to play Minecraft? It's like, well, depends on what you're doing with it. If you're throwing shaders on it and you set your view distance to all the way, then it's probably going to need more power than something else. So there's going to be, graphics settings and stuff. We don't have any of that right now. So this is kind of like the standard viewport. I can't
yeah,
change the resolution settings. I can't change the distance view settings. There is like a fog fall off if we like zoom way out, or there was. Oh, maybe there isn't on this one. I don't know. It was kind of funny on what we made with the coin game. I was playing around with that yesterday, and there was a fog fall off as I zoomed out. So I don't know why this one doesn't have it, but yeah, there's gonna be lots of options, and we want to make this as accessible as possible because one of the main goals is getting these games to play on mobile. So
yeah,
if we're targeting like a mobile playability, then I don't know that I can speak for the game maker being as well optimized as the game player, but the player should be very well optimized for that kind of stuff if it's going to be on mobile. So let's see why this squirrel is not doing its thing. And it helps when I can actually see my messages. Come on. There we go. That's been one glitch in the past version that came out. Sometimes these blocks turn white, but just deselecting and reselecting a couple times usually clears it out. So, let's see. There's a part of me that knows I'm terrible at spelling, and it's probably a typo somewhere. So we're going everywhere in range. Wait for message. So, did I change that fire message coming out here? Nope, that still sends. Everyone in range. It's sending out every half second, so the squirrel only needs to be there for half a second before it sends out fire.
sure.
I may have increased the radius on something, and
Yeah. I think it's the squirrel that needs the increased radius slightly, or the cat, right? The fire's radius is pretty good. But the broadcast, well,
they're both
okay.
at 3.
Yeah, they're both at 3. You can see that circle
Oh,
there.
but it needs to get to the wizard, which was the
That's right.
problem. So it's looking for that complete 1. The squirrel can actually broadcast everywhere. Once it's near the fire, it's okay that it goes
I
everywhere.
think that's what you did. Yeah.
So
Last time you made it so that it goes to all.
So let's get our quest. Whoa.
Yeah, and if you're watching on the stream right now, we had a question earlier on YouTube about what is the kind of coding type, but you can see here that everything is done visually. It's designed in such a way that anyone should be able to pick it up and be able to design a game without any prior coding experience. Much later on, you'll be able to add, traditional coding to the game maker, but as it is now, everything is just click, scroll, drag, drop, right? Like super easy to use.
Super easy. As long as you're paying attention, because sometimes I stop paying attention and then I realize that the ghost of Wizzy is standing over here to give me the quest, and I stand there for a whole 15 seconds wondering why he hasn't given me the quest yet.
Yeah.
So now, there we go. As soon as it got in range of the fire, there's the thank you, which is kind of offset far. I don't know why it's way over there. We can take a look at that in a minute. And press enter to validate, and that will give us our victory. Ta-da.
So this is an interesting question just there. Can you change the lighting direction?
Not yet. That is something that I believe might be in the works for the next release, but I am not sure 100% because I don't have a full roadmap of all the individual changes. I know it's on the list of things to do. So right now, there's an invisible sun right about here that actually right about there that is casting shadows down over here, so you can see the shadow there. So at the moment, we do not have any settings for changing the light direction or changing the skybox. I know it's something that is in the works and is a very necessary part of setting the mood for your games. So the dev team is very aware of the need to change that. Whether it's going to be in 0.3 or in a patch sometime in 0.2, I don't know, but yeah, it will be changeable. So we got our working quest, and I'm going to increase this one's sensitivity to the player. He's gonna sense. Oh, that's the thank you one. This one is gonna sense the player from a little bit further away. Detection range, we'll say 5. And we will increase the delay so that way if you're not there right next to him to see the message, it doesn't go away too fast. And we want to set this guy to turn and face the player, which it's set to do, but it doesn't feel like he turns to face me. Why is that? Look at player. Oh, maybe because it's waiting for the message. That's why that doesn't work. There's different things we could do to fix that. That's not super important. It just kind of helps. It's one of those polished things. The fact that he doesn't turn to face us. So that's so much faster when he senses you coming from more of a distance.
Right.
By the time it triggers, you can actually see it.
And that's the key, that even though it's visual scripting, right? As a game designer, you want it to be, as usable as possible. That looks so great. I'm just seeing you like do a barrel roll there while the squirrel's just generally floating in front of you. It's so funny.
Why can't I pick him up? There we go. I had him. There we go. Yeah, we had turned on physics for him at one point, and that became a problem. Or no, it wasn't physics. We made it so that way he could wander. He could wander around, and that was a problem because as we were holding him, he would just be like running around us, and he was still basically a child node to the player, so he would move relative to the player. So the player would move, and the squirrel would move with him, but the squirrel was also running and doing his own thing. So it's kind of like having a toddler and just like orbiting around you as you try to move with it. And like, I'm gonna be around you, but I'm not like with you. So let's see about changing this guy into a cat. So I think we had did we get the cat? Oop, not car, cat. We do have the Radiant Cat, which is by there it is. by Chimbastian, who actually, did I see Chimbastian in the chat
shiny.
earlier?
I like that.
It is a shiny cat. This is actually going to be a legendary asset because this was a first place winner in our bi-weekly VoxEdit contest. So this glowing cat is actually going to be supercharged with attributes out the wazoo.
That's great.
Because legendary assets, you can set 4 gems. So this is up to Chimbastian. I don't know if he's watching or not, but he is going to be able to select 4. Right now, there's only 2 selected on the asset, so he can publish this and get it minted sometime very soon with 4 gems. So it could be 100 magic, it could be 1 of each, and minus 1 of them. It could be all sorts of whatever combination of powers he wants to give this cat. It is going to be a very OP cat and a fairly rare item because right now it's it's a rare asset, which is why it has 2. But with legendary, the quantity I think for legendaries maxes out at 200, if I remember correctly. I could have that number wrong. So yeah.
So Alex, how does one enter a voxel creation into this contest?
Oh, that's we've got one going right now. Thank you for reminding me. Let's check out what's going on with the contest, and I can show you how to enter. So let me pull that up over here. So you have to join our forum, which is forum.sandbox.game. Clanker says it's 200 for dragons. I believe that's the max quantity for legendaries. So we go to I'm not gonna what? Okay, forum. All I did was try to exit that. There we go. So I actually help moderate the forum, so you can kind of see I've got extra controls going on here. But contests and giveaways. I'm gonna log out so that way it doesn't give me any like weird stuff on the screen.
Yeah.
So let's go to contests and giveaways. So that's forum.sandbox.game. And I believe it's still open to the 24th. What's today? The 22nd. So you've still got 2 more days to enter the C contest. So you can check whatever the open contest is. You can read the rules. I would recommend reading the rules because you can be disqualified if you don't follow the rules.
Sure.
So we've got those, and then you enter the contest through this link, and everybody submits a GIF recording of their contest entries, and we've got some really great entries here. So we've got, I think that's Chimbastian. Yeah, Chimbastian's like our all-star contester, so he needs some more competition because he really cranks those votes up, but he does great work too. I mean, you can see he's got this awesome Triton prints, and then this crazy thing by Sissipe.
Yeah, I like that siren. That's very nice.
Yeah, that tail movement is so smooth. Looks so good.
So,
that's you don't want to encounter that one in the ocean, I don't think. Then we've got this nice Manta Ray. I don't know if they used a bird template for that or if they made that from scratch. I think they might have made that from scratch because it doesn't quite look like the bird flapping to me, although there is some new bird templates, so it might have used a bird template. But that's by Clankersh, who is also a regular on our stream here. So, hi, Clankersh. I'm guessing you're here because you usually are. I didn't see your name yet. But then we've got Deep Sea Explorer, this awesome thing here.
I like the retro scuba diver.
Yeah,
nice.
That slides open. That's not going to be so great when you jump into the water, though. But that's Gundam Z, another regular. Well, Willie on here. I recognize his profile picture. He's another regular on here. Deep Sea Explorers by Nexonic. Anglerfish by Remigio. Sunken Ship by Spectors. And this is great too. You got these bubbles coming up.
Yeah.
So that's a nice, like, put that underwater and you've got some bubbles flying out, and then you got the sails blowing in the current. So some really cool stuff. We got Treasure Chest by Spectors, Cyber Whale by Jason. That's nice and shiny. We got King of the Sea by Woofo. Crad Super Soldier did this Ancient Kraken. That must have been a lot of work. So you can, once the marketplace is open, if you entered a contest and you didn't win, because we've only got the 3 winners per contest, you can still publish these assets on the marketplace once it's open to everybody. It's just for the marketplace winners. I believe that the Sandbox pays the minting fee and gives the gems and catalysts for free to do the minting on that. So that's the kind of prize for winning, along with I believe each winner gets a land along with it.
Yeah.
And Lucky Fish by Libelius, Bionic Thunder Shark by Crad Super Soldier again, and you can enter more than once. And Whack-A-Mole, I believe I saw that name on the chat here today. Did a Riptide Trident. So I'm not sure if this used the equipment. There's new equipment stuff. So like the sword that you see in our hand while we're playing, you could make a trident like this. Oh, that's cool. It's hi Whack-A-Mole. Yeah, I think it's mostly just the crop. Although I do believe we're trying to do animated assets, so this might not qualify, but we can double check. So if this was done on a template, you wouldn't be able to animate it. But if you didn't do it as a template, you could do like glowing, power, do some emissive things glowing up the staff. Let me check if they have to be animated. I believe they do. Mm-hmm. It says make sure to use our animation templates. I don't think that's a rule requirement that you have to. It's more an encouragement. We provide those so you can make really cool assets very quickly and not have to animate them all yourself. Yeah, just make sure to read the rules carefully. There's guidelines and terms that help explain VoxEdit if it's new to you. And then, I clicked the back button on my mouse accidentally. Download for VoxEdit if you don't have it already, and then just make sure to read that page very carefully, because it's clear that I have not, but I'm not allowed to compete in the competitions, so I don't focus on memorizing the rules for something that I can't participate in.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is Chimbastian's going to be legendary cat, so we can say that's going to be Wizzy's pet cat. So it is in our inventory right now. Also, this is something we haven't done in a couple weeks. And, we're coming up on 50 minutes. So let's get the next giveaway started.
Sure.
So make sure to type !sand in the chat there. And how much are going to be the minting fees? It depends on what level you're minting at. And I'm not sure on the final prices. It might be affected by the value of Ethereum at the point when you mint, although I think they're trying to make it based on USD, so it's stable. The kind of prices that I'm seeing is like $1 or $2 for common assets, and then something like $20 for legendary, but that's not a firm quote or like a guaranteed price. That's just the kind of prices that I see being talked about. So to put that in perspective, $20 to mint a legendary asset sounds like a lot, but the legendaries in our pre-sales have been selling for like, I think the price on them was like $1,000 for just one.
Yeah.
And now that was with a legendary where there was only one copy. So if you have multiple copies, that value might not be quite as high, but still, even if you have 200 copies divided by,
right,
or $1,000 divided by 200 copies. Where's my calculator? I can't do this in the head. In my head,
$5 a piece.
It is $5 a piece. That's what I thought. So you sell 4 legendary assets and you break even,
right?
And then you've still got 196
Yeah.
$5 assets left to sell, and that's just if that's the way the pricing works out. I can't confirm that that's exactly the way the pricing will work out, but legendary assets sell for much more. I can guarantee that legendary assets sell for much more than they mint for. So if the asset that you make is of good quality that interests people, and either a game developer or an NFT collector sees your legendary asset and goes, ooh, I want that, and they have the money to spend on a legendary asset, you are going to way more than break even on selling a legendary asset. Common assets, I think the quantity is something like 20,000. Does it say it on these guys?
Let's see.
It
When you
might be
create
in the...
assets that are groups of objects, such as a group of bees. I think I can answer that question. Absolutely, you can create a group of objects.
Yep.
So you have, when you create an animated object like these cats here, they actually come in as multiple different objects. You know, you may animate the one of the arms slash legs separately, right? And then you animate the body separately. So you have uh, in the designer, and I want to get the terminology right. VXM, right, is the VoxEdit model.
Yep.
So you have multiple VoxEdit models, and then you go into the animation portion and you say, where do those different models go? What do they do when they're in an idle animation or an action animation? Things like that. So yeah, you can absolutely have multiple different assets as a group of objects, but it'll still, in the end, say that it's one asset.
Yep, you can do that from it depends on how you want to do it. So there's different ways of doing that. So you can totally animate it like that initially. You can't really see it right now because it's not animating properly, but this was designed for these to spin around the center core as like a centrifuge gravity system, because these are supposed to be little houses. So the idea was that spinning around would do an artificial gravity effect. So if I got rid of the arms and you just saw these spinning around, that would achieve, kind of a swarming look. But you can also set up things as parents and children. So in the game maker. So I just grabbed all these cats here, and we can set them as basic platforms. And we'll just set them as like a 1 value here. So now you can see that they've got like a little motion to them. You can set different values for them so they're not all moving the same direction at the same time. And we can offset a few of them. And unfortunately, doing a random rotation is not going to change the direction that they're moving in, which we figured out last time. I did not mean to hit replace. T to spin. And then we can select all these and make them children of the middle one, which is this one. We're totally doing a great job of making Wizzy's cat transform back into a cat. And so when we hit play, there's a delay on the motion on these, but you can see that they're all being pulled along together. So if we turned off that delay, or if we did like NPC motions where they walk around randomly, you could make, in the case of bees, you could make the central cat here make that a, say, predator behavior that chases after enemies. Yes, we can jump on the cats. So you could make the center one an enemy that will chase, and then the ones swarming around it won't necessarily do anything. They'll just be moving around that central behavior. So
that's interesting.
The issue with doing it in VoxEdit is that you would be locked into whatever animation you made for that specifically, and collisions would be you would only be able to have a total collision box around the whole thing. So the way I'm able to jump from cat to cat here as a like moving staircase sort of, or like move through them, that's because they each have their own individual collision box. If you do one asset that's animated with a swarm, it's going to be the collective position on every frame, making one big cube of collision. So that would limit your options if you want that to collide with the player. It just makes things more complicated. So it's going to be easier to animate a swarm in VoxEdit than trying to programmatically make a swarm in the game maker, but you'll have more options in the game maker for how the player can interact with it. So I'd actually recommend doing mini swarms. Do like 3 or 4, bees spinning around each other and looking swarm-like, and then make that an asset like the cat here, and then tie them all together. So I could turn off collision for the outer cats and leave collision on just for the middle one, so that way it could surround the player and attack the player with the player inside the swarm, and the player would be able to like run out of the swarm.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So there's like a lot of different things you can do. I want to see what happens if we get rid of the middle cat.
Yeah, if like each individual cat is
the parent cat.
Yeah.
The parent cat should be damaged. I think okay, yeah, I think the middle cat went away, but because it was a parent, all the other ones kind of glitched out.
Okay.
So that's something I can report to QA and let them know, hey, when a parent... So actually, what if anybody remembers, back on the 4th of July, I did a special stream to make fireworks, and it did like a weird hard crash kind of thing where all the fireworks would freeze in the sky at the end, and I think it's because it was destroying a parent that had assets attached to it, and it didn't know what to do. So it's not crashing now. Because it was crashing so hard that I could still run around and do stuff, but none of the animations worked for the other assets. So let's see if Wizzy's behavior is he still going to give me the quest? Yeah, I might have broken the behaviors. Mm-hmm. Give me a quest.
And this is part of the natural cycle when you're working with alpha software anywhere, right? Yeah, you can't destroy the buildings or any of that yet.
Yeah.
So the in designing with alpha software, you always be ready and willing and happy. There we go, and that worked immediately.
Yeah.
Happy to submit those kind of bug reports, and then the dev team can get on it. And once the developers on our end can fix that, then we can be sure that those visual scripting elements can be done by regular folks without having to think.
Right. So we're going to go a little bit long today. So it's that's okay. We got a late start. So
what do you think about doing the second sand giveaway?
We'll do the second sand giveaway in about 15 minutes. So you've got about 10 more seconds to get your name into the chat. So ! Sand. And let's see. Let's answer a question real quick. Can other players raiding your land if official release? So you will have a lot of control over your land and how you want it to be played. So this isn't like a Minecraft level where it works the same way as every other bit of, any other place in Minecraft, and players can jump in. I know Minecraft has options like you can you can protect blocks from being destroyed. So people who like set up special quests in Minecraft, or they'll have certain mods to do different things. But this is really, you're building your own game. You set up your own rules, you set up your own quests, you use your own assets, you can change the blocks, you can change the look of things. This is really your game that you're creating. When you put it in the metaverse, it allows people to exit one game and jump over to your game. And then however your experience is set up is how people will play it. So If you can set up a single player experience for people to join, so they jump over from a multiplayer land and then bam, all of a sudden they're in a single player land. There's not going to be any other players around them. Anybody else who jumps into that land at the same time is going to be in a separate instance of that game playing. So player A starts the game, player B starts the game, and it's a totally separate experience for them. Then both of those players exit over to the adjacent land to the west, and now they're in a multiplayer experience together. So it's going to be the metaverse is like it's together but separate. People will be able to set up stuff where they can chain quests together and kind of collaborate on things. So being friendly with your neighbors in the metaverse is a good idea to set up expansive game experiences, but you don't have to be linked to the next land over. You could jump over from helping Wizzy get his cat back here to going to a space adventure on the next place. So
Cool.
I hope that answered that question. And giveaway time. It is Cozy Creative. Congrats. I know Cozy's been here a bunch of times before, so make sure you message Joseph on Twitch or Twitter to make sure we get... I don't know if you've won before, so I might not have your Ethereum address. And then we're going to start the last giveaway in about 15 more minutes, so stick around. And we've been getting pretty close. I know we're down to 66 now, but I saw before it was up past 70 or 80. So we're getting pretty close to a land giveaway. So make sure make sure you share, retweet that stream announcement, and everybody will be able to get a chance to win a land. We're doing much better with viewership these days. So let's see if we can fix the cat. So we want a object that will replace the asset. So let's get first of all, let's get rid of all these silly health things on the house because we don't want to break the house. So a new feature in 0.2, which I am so happy about, is you can multi-select objects and you can change their behaviors and components and all the settings, and it'll change across all of them. You might have seen me doing that with the cats. So we can remove the health component from the whole house at once. So when we go rolling into Wizzy's hovel, swinging and slicing, we don't break down his walls. So we're just getting rid of all the health components there. And that should be most of them. I think that's the whole house. All right, no health left on that. So we're gonna make this short bench into an asset changer. Let's see, replace asset, and I'm trying to remember how this works. It's been a while since I've done this one. I think that actually changes this asset into something else. I did not finish my coffee yet. You might have seen me sipping it earlier. So let my brain recover here. Replace asset. We'll replace the current one. Okay, so we don't want to replace the bench. We want to replace the cat. And I think the cat is a message broadcaster. So that might not work, but we don't necessarily need the cat to be a message broadcaster. We can actually change the component to a speaker component, and we're going to move all of our settings from message broadcaster to the speaker component, so it senses the presence of Wizzy, basically, or the fire. So does the fire have any tags? We'll just call it magic. So we added a tag of magic to the fire. And now when the squirrel senses the tag of magic. We don't actually want the squirrel to say anything. It's going to detect, or we could even do it with the wait for message. We don't even have to have it detect. So we already know that the fireplace is giving out, it's sending out this fire message. So we don't even need the tag. So speaker component is going to wait for the message fire. We can have it look at the player. The squirrel will face us. I think that shouldn't be an issue. Auto hide delay doesn't matter because we don't actually have a message. And then message, when it speaks, it's going to speak that complete one message. And that message when spoken is a send to all, which is what we have it up here. It's not going to a radius. So that should actually work just fine. So we can actually change the behavior here to a replace asset. And when it gets changed, we're going to set it to the cat. And we can actually change the behavior now to be a either an NPC or a ground predator or a ground prey. I think we'll go with ground prey because that's I don't know, because that seems appropriate. We can set the behavior to anything we wanted at this point, but ground prey, it'll go after plants to eat, basically, which I guess isn't really a cat-like behavior, be more like a predator. But if I set it to predator, it'll try to attack the player, which we don't want that. So collisions for physics, yep. It might be floating off the ground. We'll have to see how that works when we have the collisions being without gravity. It might not actually like sink down to the ground, but we'll see how that works. And components and tags, we don't really need to add anything there. We could give it health or whatever. And then message required, it requires the fire message to change. And that should switch it over. So let's take a look. Yep, I was just making sure I hadn't capitalized it. And I believe all those settings should be in place. So let's see if we can complete the quest and get a cat out of it. So first we got to get the quest. I mean, we could bring the cat over. Oh, I turned off the pickable. I forgot to let's see, components. Why am I having a hard time? Can I not? Oh, add component. I couldn't even see it. So I switched the pickable component to speaker, but we still need the pickable component. Pickable component. There we go. Grab offset. So that I think there wasn't an offset before. That's why it was just kind of being held out in front of us. And we do want collisions, so we can't run straight through it. And let's see here. Okay, that should be good.
Cool.
Okay. So we could grab the squirrel and bring it over before starting the quest, and it would probably try to it would change it, and then we wouldn't be able to activate that quest. We should actually test that next time. So let's see. Ta-da! So we're actually still holding it, and it's pushing us.
Oh, nice.
So that did actually put it on the ground. I wasn't sure if that would work. We can still pick it up, maybe? No, we can't pick it up because we didn't give a pickable component. So we couldn't put it down, or we can put it down. We don't have to put it down, is what I'm saying. We could still run around with it, but it'll push us around, which is kind of awkward. So now it is a Now it is a prey. So if we had like a wolf or something, a predator, it would actually chase it and try to destroy it. So yeah, there we go. We did our quest.
That's
Yay! Let's see what happens if we don't start the quest. I'm pretty sure it will not let us start the quest if we've completed the objective, or it might instantly complete because Wizzy's still going to give it to us as soon as we get close. So yeah, it basically like instantly completes there. So we got kind of lucky. We got lucky there, but it doesn't give us the quest. It's like we just did him a favor. We were like, "Here, have your cat," and there's no quest. There's no victory now because there's no quest to give us. The Wizzy that gives the quest, and he's facing the cat. I don't know how that works. Why is he facing the cat instead of facing us? That's interesting. So the Wizzy that gives us the quest is dead now because he's the invisible one, and he dies when we complete the quest. So he disappears, and it doesn't say, "Can you find my cat?" after we've already given him the cat. So it's not possible for us to get the quest after we've beaten the quest. So now there's no end game at this moment. Basically, we skipped that quest. So that is something to like keep in mind as you're designing games, is what order you give the quests in, and whether it's possible to accidentally or intentionally complete the quest before you've given it, which can be confusing to players if you don't think about that carefully. So that.
All right, so I've got a question for Scale that came up just a bit ago, and I was wondering if you could answer it.
Sure.
So it says, Alex, can you explain how scale works in terms of an object built at 32 by 32 by 32 versus one built at 64, 64, 64? Is the squirrel built on 32, 32 or 64, 64? Trying to work out how to create detail.
So everything in the game is 32 voxels to 1 meter. So if we look real closely here, we can see about the size of the pupils on the cat are the same as the size of the pupils on our hero here, and the same on Wizzy. They're all using the exact same voxel scale. Same is true for all the other assets. So you can see that the dots on the wood here, there's the dots are actually 2 by 2 and 3 by 3 for the ones next to the head here, as you can see that they're bigger.
Yeah.
So the way that this log was made, it was scaled up. It was built as a smaller scale item, and then used the increase resolution button in VoxEdit to make it bigger, which is why it's got a more chunky appearance. So the tightest scale that you can make stuff is the 32 voxels to 1 meter, which is the same as the blocks here. You can see the blocks have a decent amount of detail on them, these gravel blocks. The artist who made these assets, he makes a lot of assets, so to accelerate his development process, he'll like model them smaller and then scale them up, and then he'll go back in and add in tighter details. So like the handles on the door here, you can see are using a single voxel for the thickness there, whereas a lot of the details or the larger macro details like the arches here, actually no, those use a 1 voxel scale, but it's part of the aesthetic of the sandbox. The mud bricks or whatever these are supposed to be, have a bigger appearance than say like the stones on this cube here.
Sure.
So so 32 is the tightest you'll be able to get it. You are welcome to make chunkier objects, and your objects will actually run better when they're less detailed. So you're going to create fewer faces on the object. We have a face limit of 5,000 faces per object. that's like a strict standard for our creator fund because we're trying to create objects that are optimized for everybody. VoxEdit will actually let you go. There is no limit in VoxEdit for faces. It's whatever your computer can handle. But the marketplace does have a cap where it'll like turn it off and say, hey, you can't make this detailed. It's not going to work. Which something like this up here in the sky is kind of like pushing the limit. Actually, no, that one is actually under 5. It's like at 4,900 and something faces. I did optimize it just like within the limit, and then it still had issues uploading to the marketplace. That was a while ago though, so there's been a lot of improvements since then. But yeah, so tightest detail 32 per 1 meter, and then you can get chunkier from there if you want. There was scale originally. You couldn't scale in the Game Maker ever, even in pre-alpha, but in VoxEdit you could do free scaling, and we found that didn't look great, and it caused problems in the Game Maker. So aesthetically, we found it looked better when everything used the same max detail, because as things get really distant, you can't even see them.
Yeah.
So having that one voxel be 1/32 of a meter really worked best. I thought I saw another question up there that looked interesting to me.
I think this one here, who decides if an asset is rare or not? I kind of answered that, but
well, that's so there's the users or the artists decide. Really, I mean, in the creator fund is a freelancing job. So some people try to join and they don't realize it's like you get assignments. It's if you want to work like as a professional artist, you don't have to have professional artist experience to join the creator fund. When I joined the creator fund, and I'm now in charge of the creator fund, I had only started voxel art maybe a year before I joined. And I had a lot of other artists, like professional graphic design experience, so that like helped me, work very quickly and effectively. Sure. But you don't have to have game studio experience to apply to be in the creator fund. Most of our artists have not worked in a game studio and have not produced a video game. So they just had enough art experience where they were able to make interesting looking stuff. So in the creator fund, you get assignments, and then actually part of my job right now is I assign the rarity to the creator fund assets after they're finished. So that's part of my job. But people once the marketplace is open and anybody can submit, you will be able to pick your own rarities, but it's going to be based on the catalysts you have, and catalysts are earned through playing the game. So if you want to create legendary, epic, and rare assets, you have to be playing the game to get those materials to mint at that rarity. And we generally, so you can actually upgrade assets after you buy them. So if you buy an epic asset, you can use a catalyst to upgrade it to a legendary, and only your copy will upgrade. So you get some cool, that's one of the cool things with having NFTs. And I saw somebody asking if we can swim. We cannot swim yet, but we can go in the water. And that's not supposed to be an elevator. It's supposed to be a boat to get over to him, but there were some changes made. So you can change with those catalysts, but we recommend using catalysts to set the initial rarity of an item, because the catalyst will apply across all the assets you mint in that particular minting, whereas if you use a catalyst for upgrading an asset, you only use it the once and then it's gone. So it's much more cost effective to mint new assets than to upgrade them. But if you really are interested in upgrading the asset, you will greatly increase the value of your asset by doing that. So it is an option that you have. It's just expensive to do so. Somebody asked about FPS. This is running at 60 FPS for me. I have a 60 hertz screen, so that's the max that I can see, and the max that I can do. If I had a faster screen, if I had like a 120 screen, I don't know if it would be running at that higher speed or not, or how effective it would be. The stream quality is at 60 FPS also, so you should be getting close to the true frame rate that I'm experiencing. The animations from VoxEdit are 24 FPS though, so 60 FPS animations for this would be a little excessive, and it would be a lot to work with and design with. So to keep people from obsessing over, should it be this like 3/60ths of a second or this 5/60ths of a second, we went with the 24 frames per 1 second is much easier to work with in VoxEdit. So speaking of VoxEdit, brand new timeline got released. So let's save this. And we'll show that timeline real quick. And we're going to wrap things up. So let's get a new giveaway going. So remember, if you're on twitch.tv/thesandboxgame, you can type !sand in the chat. And that will enter you into the giveaway for 100 sand. And then our 3 winners will get a dice roll to decide which one of them gets a NFT. So VoxEdit, surprisingly, VoxEdit is actually like more resource intensive than the Game Maker for me. So if my voice starts getting crackly, I apologize. It is just VoxEdit doing its thing. And we're only going to be in it for a minute. So if it starts making the stream freak out, just hold on tight. I saw somebody ask about first person and third person also. I don't know. Did you answer them?
I didn't answer that one, no.
Okay. So the only option right now is technically third person. There used to be a first person, third person toggle. It helps if I don't use a template. I meant to type test, but I typed rest. That's what I need this weekend. So there used to be a first person, third person option in the Game Maker back in pre-alpha, and I think even in version 0.1 there was briefly a first person, third person toggle. There is not an option to set first person right now because they totally reworked the camera and they gave a lot more options. So you can set the player to be invisible, and you can set the orbit distance of the camera to be like 0, so it's like right in where the head would be. So you can kind of force a first person experience, even though the camera's technically a floating third person camera. If you want to see, I don't think it works very well right now to like see the hands. If you wanted a like first person shooter kind of feel where you can see what you're holding, that didn't work very well in pre-alpha either in first person, because the camera would be like in your face, and so you couldn't see your face. But if your character had a hat, the brim of the hat would like cover over the camera as you were running around and stuff, and it was a little distracting. That's our characters Max and I don't remember the other one's name. There's Max and there's somebody else, are some of the first Game Maker characters that were built. They both had hats, and so the brim would keep on popping over the top of the camera. So you can set the player to be invisible and move the camera in really close, so you can kind of force it to be first person. There will be first person mechanics later because we do want like shooters and battle royales to be like a possibility in the Game Maker. So those features will come back. This is kind of the ebb and flow. Like a feature will get introduced and it won't work quite right, so it'll get removed to get worked on, and new features come in, so you get an update where you see the new features, but the old feature isn't back yet because it's not finished yet. There's other features that are dependent on other features. So in the case of the camera, the whole camera system got reworked. It's actually the whole avatar input component is where all those settings are. So it's a really long component. You have to keep scrolling because it's got about 50 options in it for the inertia of the player as you stop moving, how much you slide, all sorts of tweaks to the way you move and turn and the way the camera behaves with those and whether you're holding a weapon or not. So that is just kind of a really complicated component to like change all those options. And even though I work in the Game Maker almost every day, I haven't had time to figure out what every single one of those does because there's just so many of them. So that's one of those things where the feature is not there right now, and it will come back later when it's ready. So first person definitely happening. So yeah, there is this new timeline, which is really great. So there's a lot of features here that people have been asking for a long time.
Yeah.
And you can see here, if I click, the playhead jumps immediately to wherever I click. We've got the timeline does not scroll when I move a keyframe, so I can drop the keyframe exactly where I want it. If I pull it past the edge here, well, it did move. It might be that I don't maybe it's only with the inner keyframe that it does that. Let me try zooming in here. If I pull the keyframe, I got it to do it last night. If I pull the keyframe, it was moving. I don't know what I'm doing different today, but apparently something. So it is possible to make this scroll. I don't know why it's not working right now, but it does do it. You've got this zoom, which is great. You can pull it all the way out and see all 20 seconds, or you can pull it to whatever range. This top bar is basically the whole timeline again, except it's locked in scale. And then you can scroll it around like that, which is amazing. Just the fact that the timeline doesn't scroll while you're trying to move a keyframe is critical, because it was very difficult before to drop on a specific frame, and now it's easy. And then this button here will actually snap the timeline to all of your keyframes, so you get a view of exactly what you've got going on. New interface will actually show a little icon for your different acceleration curves. You could change the color in the last version. I don't know if everybody knew that, but this can help you stay organized. So you can make like a group of blue nodes and green nodes, and it can help you find what you're looking for. The color shows up here also.
Yeah.
You can also set a loop area. So whatever section in the view, it'll loop the animation. You have to activate it, and then it highlights your loop, and then it will just keep playing that section. And you can even change it while it's running. So if you want to like review if you make a 20-second long animation, you don't necessarily want to wait 20 seconds just to watch one part over and over and make sure it looks good. So you can clamp it down to exactly what you want to look at. And there's other like little improvements to the way everything works. You can minimize it now instead of just popping it out like you could before, which you can still do. You can stretch this. I can stretch this across both my screens. So I get like a huge timeline if I want it. I don't usually need to do that. Put it back. So the minimizing lets you do all your playback controls, and you can even pick your animation from here. You can also hide this and get the most real estate for your timeline there. So works so much better. Specifically, just the scrolling and zooming was a much needed feature in the animator, and I love it. It's beautiful. It makes life so much easier. So go check that out. You can download it now from sandbox.game/create. And no, we don't need to save those. So you got about 10 seconds to enter the giveaway. We've got 46 entries. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, it's been a good day.
So yeah, Whack-A-Mole likes the new timeline. The next version, I know that people have been asking about lighting. So right now the lighting in VoxEdit is behind, and it makes it very difficult to see when you're using a template because the template faces you and then it's backlit. So like everything is super dark when you're trying to look at it. That's going to be fixed in the next version. That's been confirmed that they are working on that now. There will actually be lighting control. So it's not, I haven't seen the controls yet, but you should be able to orbit the light around to whatever side you want. I don't have any more details than that, but you will be able to see what you're doing better in VoxEdit, and I believe that will make your screenshots look nicer because there's that screenshot button in the bottom left corner of the 3D view. So it will actually, it takes a screenshot of whatever your view pane shows with a transparent background. So it's very easy to get transparent PNG screenshots in VoxEdit, and now you'll be able to light them correctly when the next version comes out. So that might be sometime in September probably. So let's do the giveaway. And Crypto Gnome is the winner. So congratulations, Crypto Gnome. Get your Ether address over to the Vision X. You can whisper to him on Twitch, or you can do it on Twitter at the Vision X. And I'm sorry, sorry, Mers1K, Merzik, maybe. It does only work on Twitch, so make sure if you are interested in the giveaway, you got to be watching on twitch.tv/the Sandbox game. And I pronounced Carpathian wrong. Is that?
They're trying to say that you didn't announce the right winner.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, it says it on the screen, so that you gotta go with whatever that says. That's what I do. So anyway, congratulations, and let me grab my dice. Let's see who won a Sand Fountain NFT, one of the last few to give away. So we got a 6-sided die, and we'll go off the order that they won in. The first person, it gets 1 and 2. Second person gets 3 and 4. Third person gets my throat's getting dry. 5 and 6. And it's a 1. So whoever the first winner was, I know. I don't remember the name, but I know that Joseph is keeping track, and I've got the stream to go back on to reference just to make sure. So congratulations.
So remember, if you have won and you have not already sent me your ETH address to either my Twitter or here on Twitch TV, please do so. That way we can get you your rewards for this afternoon.
Something that came up last time is that if you have a Binance wallet that you've been buying sand with, Binance does not hold NFTs. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so if you've got a Binance wallet, you do need to set up either a MetaMask or Bitski wallet. Well, there's other wallets that will accept NFTs, but the ones specifically that work in the Sandbox right now are Bitski and MetaMask, and I think there's another one, isn't there? Didn't we just announce another? I don't remember.
Yeah, there's social integrated logins you can do now on sandbox.game.
Ooh.
And I'd give you that. Let me see if I can. I can't click sign in because it automatically signs in with my Web3 wallet. Super great feature. So I can't look at that directly right now. But if you click sign in, you've never signed in before.
This is what incognito mode is for.
Look at you.
We can pull it up on the screen.
It's called Arcane, the social login with Arcane. It'll ask you to continue with Facebook, Twitter, or Google, and then set up a wallet immedately after with the Arcane service.
Cool. That's awesome.
Super, brand new feature. So.
That just came out this week. So
yeah.
So you can do a Web3 wallet, which is what well, I guess that would be MetaMask also would count as a Web3 wallet. So yeah, any built-in plugin type wallet you have, like I think Brave browser would be one of them that would use the Web3.
Brave browser has MetaMask built into it.
Yeah. Yes. You would use that. You can create a wallet with Bitski. So if you don't already have one, it will actually go like, hey, you can create a new Bitsky account. And there's actually a tutorial for that. I don't know if it's linked on here, but if you can you share that, Joseph? Grab it's the first Sandbox game maker tutorial link.
Sure. Yeah.
That'll get pasted in the chat, so you can quickly set up a Bitsky wallet and get your Sandbox account started up. So you do need a regular one of these wallets to accept the NFT prize if you do not have one. So that happened last week. Somebody had a Binance wallet and not a other wallet, and or I think they did have another one, but we had to get the other wallet to send them the NFT. So that got all sorted. And actually, somebody who won last week never replied to me on Discord. I had their Ethereum address also, but I wanted to confirm to send them their Sand prize. So I'm trying to remember who that was. I don't know if they're watching right now. Let's see. Who was it that won last week? It was... I have so many Discord chats. Chosen Champ. Right. It was Chosen Champ. So Chosen Champ, I don't know if you're watching right now, but I've got 100 sand for you. You got to reply to me and confirm your wallet. If you want your 100 sand, I will hold on to it for you, I promise. So yeah, you 3 winners, congratulations. Go ahead and message Joseph and get those wallets so we can send your prize. I want to thank you all for watching, and we've even got a new thank you screen as we leave. It's so pretty. So I hope to see you all on Wednesday. Have fun, stay safe, and have a great weekend.
Goodbye.